what is the difference between our mission as teachers, mechanchim and mechanchos, and shluchim. So it's very different. And with all due respect, and to be a shliach is the biggest achus. But let's take this apart for a minute. A shliach goes out to a yid that is not putting on film, and he says to him with the whole excitement about the mitzvah of tefillin, gewaldig, Shmiras Shabbos, Taharas Mishpacha, and the list goes on. What does the shliach, where does the shliach need to be in order to be able to give that over with a fire? All he needs to be a Shomer Shabbos. He needs to be putting on tefillin. What is he offering for the Jew that he's approaching? He's offering him things that to him is a basic part of his life. So it's very easy to offer. You know, they say they say that the Rebbe taught us, if you know an aleph, teach an aleph. You know, I said something that's just it's a joke, but not such a joke, that if you know an aleph and you teach an aleph, that's very good. But sometimes the person knows an aleph and wants to teach a base, then he gets into trouble. But that's just aside. But the point is that to come and to teach the aleph that you know and the base that you know, that's very easy. But what's our mission as teachers? All of the people in this in our little community, we are teaching kids that know about Kashrus, Shabbos, Taharas Mishpacha, Tefillin, Shmiras Torahs and Mitzvahs. They know it. What is our mission here? Our mission is something else. They come from parents who have taught them the basic of Yiddishkeit. Our mission is to instill in them a love towards it, a warmth towards it, a connection to it, a fire in it. That cannot happen, impossible, only if you have it. That's the meaning. If you know an aleph, teach an aleph. You can't give a fire with words. Words is not a fire, only if there is a fire in it. In other words, there is no question. A shliach that's learning and davening b'avodah is not the same like someone who doesn't. But he can get away with it. At least that's what he can think. He can just be basic as long as he davens and he keeps Torah mitzvahs and he goes to be a shliach. We can't afford that because then the whole neshama of our job is missing. And I'm not saying this in a way to brush away questions, and in fact, most of my time I spend just answering questions, tips and eitzes, specific eitzes. But I will definitely say that a teacher that can create in themselves this fire, half of the questions will be answered without anything else. Because if this is the atmosphere in the environment, if we can manage to create such a energy, a lot of questions are going to fall away. And Chevra, to be able to have this, we can't have it only if we really connect to it. What I did now with Hey Tevis, just very briefly, I did these sichas just because I wanted to go through Lekavod Hey Tevis, the steps of Hey Tevis. But in every day, if somebody is looking at the Gem video, if somebody is looking at the Sicha Yomis, if somebody is looking inside the Sefer, something in English, something in Yiddish, the amount of Beligavul inspiration, and this is also the mind-blowing thing which we talked about, I think, last week also. The Rebbe, who is Geoines in Torah and Nigle and in Chassidus, is Beligavul Mamash. And yet, wherever you turn, it's all about just fire and inspiration of Amunah, Yira, and Ahava. That's what the Rebbe talks about, day and night, in every step. I was looking at the sichas the Rebbe is talking Chanukah to the kids, and as much, the amount of sichas, who in the world, well, which Rebbe in the world was taking little kids night after night, year after year, a few times, and giving a rally and talking to little kids and reminding them, I said, do I got of them well. A Rebbe of the Pashat, I'm talking from a human perspective. How can somebody physically with such a madrega person to be metzamtzem himself? And the answer is because this is the beligavu of the Rebbe. The answer is he wasn't just a Goan, he wasn't a giant, he's the Rebbe, he's the Nasi Adoyim. And so it is with talking to the little kids, and so it is in talking to the woman. Rabbi say, day in and day out, while people see one side of the world, we see how things are falling and it's dark, and we see so many kids, Rahman al-Islam, falling away, and everybody is looking at that side. I see a different side. Unfortunately, that side is there too, but I see a different side. Every single day, new people from other communities are coming, and I have people telling me, how come you did not tell me about this? How come not everybody in the world knows about this? I am watching these people on fire, and I'm embarrassed of myself that we are just so used to it and so taking things for granted, and we're just Lubavitchers. You know, Rabbi Yoel told us once, you know, when a Yid comes, a Bocher from Yeshua, every Balabos knows that he has to have a Seder and L'Kriya Sitim L'Torah. He has to learn Torah in the morning or at night. If not, he can't be a Jew otherwise. But what happens when a Bocher comes home from Yeshiva, Ben Azmanim? Sometimes this Bocher doesn't open a Jewish book. He doesn't open a Sefer the entire month. I'm a Bocher. I am a Yeshiva Bocher be'etzem. I'm part of a Yeshiva Bocher. I still need to learn. I'm in it. I don't need to learn. He was obviously saying it as a painful joke. It's the same thing as here. Sometimes we are Lubavitchers, so we are in it. So we are just used to it, and we go with, and yes, boif makiv, in a surrounding way, we are in it, and we have it, and but it doesn't work. In order for it to really impact, and therefore we should be able to impact others, we need to connect with it. Again, whatever it is, your choice, video, audio, Sefer, English, Yiddish, Spanish, whatever it will work for you. We need to find, this is our tools, just like the carpenter has to go with the hammer, and just like the businessman has to have his computer. This is our tools. You cannot go into a classroom if you don't have it. And guess what? What we were inspired by yesterday evaporates very quickly. Life eats us up. We need to find time in our day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but those 5-10 minutes to really connect, to raise in. And we don't need anything in the world other than the Rebbe. You have everything, from everything, top to bottom, everything that we need. 10 minutes with the Rebbe, with a focus, to get yourself inspired and go into a classroom. Anyway, that's one nakuda. I want to talk about one more nakuda, and with that we'll conclude for now.
Professor Shlomo Eckstein is a professor of economics and was formerly president and rector of Bar Ilan University. In his youth, he was a leader in the B'nai Akiva movement. He had an audience with the Rebbe in 1953.
והוא שאל אותי, יש לך שאלה? אמרתי כן. השאלה שלי זאת, אני בתור מדריך, וכל הקבוצה הזאת שמדריכים יחזרו למקסיקו עכשיו להיות מדריכים עוד שנה, שנתיים, עד שהם יעלו ארצה. אנחנו משקיעים בילד יהודי את כל המאמצים שלנו, את כל הכוחות שלנו, ופתאום הוא עוזב לא רק את בני עקיבא, הוא עוזב את כל האווירה הקהילתית היהודית, ויש כאלה אפילו שאחר כך מתחתנים עם גויות, או בנות שמתחתנות עם גוי, ועוזבים את היהדות לגמרי. אנחנו אומרים, מאיפה לוקחים את הכוח לעמוד בזה? הרבי הסתכל עליי ועל כל הקבוצה, ואמר, אני מבין את הקבוצה, ואני אנסה לומר לכם איך להתייחס לזה. הוא אומר, יש לנו הבטחה, הזורעים בדמעה, ברינה יקצור. זאת אומרת, אם מישהו זורע בדמעה, עם כל הלב, את מה שהוא רוצה לבצע, כמובן בתחום החינוך היהודי, בתחום ההקרנה של יהדות, של חום יהודי, אם הוא עושה את זה מכל הלב, ברינה יקצור, הוא יהיה קציר. אבל לא מובטח שמי שזרע יראה את הקציר. ודאי יהיה קציר, אבל יכול להיות שאת התוצאות אתם לא תזכו לראות, או הזורע לא יזכה לראות, אלא הם יקרו באיזשהו. אני אתן לכם דוגמה, הוא אומר. והסיפור הזה מלווה אותנו, מלווה אותי לפחות עד היום, פשוט בוא נשכח 60 שנה עברו מאז. אתם יושבים בשבת אחרי הצהריים, נותנים שיחה לקבוצה שלכם, התפלאתי איך הרבי יודע בדיוק איך בני עקיבא פועל, אבל הוא כנראה ידע. ואתם נותנים שיחה, פתאום עובר ליד הבית כנסת, איפה שהשיחה שלכם מתקיימת, ילד יהודי. הוא לא יודע מה זה בני עקיבא, הוא לא מבין בדיוק מה אתם עושים שם, אבל מתוך סקרנות הוא נכנס, יושב בפינה ומקשיב. אתה לא רוצה להפסיק את השיחה שלך באמצע. אתה אומר, אולי בסוף השיחה אני אגש אליו ונשאל אותו, מי אתה? אולי אפשר לצרף אותו. ועל מה אתה מדבר המדריך? אתה מדבר, אנחנו בנים של אברהם אבינו. וזה מקרין בנו את הכוחות של כל עם ישראל. מזה שאברהם אבינו האמינו בקדוש ברוך הוא. והאמין שבקדוש ברוך הוא אנחנו נותנים את כל האמון שלנו, את כל הרצון שלנו לעשות כרצונו, לקיים את המצוות שלו. וזה מה שעושה אותנו לעם ישראל, לעם יהודי. והנה תראו, אנחנו כבר אלפים שנים הולכים בכוח הזה עד היום. הוא שומע את מה שאתה אומר. הוא החליט לא להישאר עד הסוף. קם ויוצא. אתה לא הצלחת לפנות אליו, אתה לא יודע מי הוא לא יודע גם מי אתה, הוא לא יודע מי אתה אישית. הוא יוצא מהבית כנסת, הולך, ממשיך בדרכו, הולך אחר כך, לומד באוניברסיטה, פוגש בחורה לא יהודייה, מתאהב בה, מחליט להתחתן איתה, וההורים שלה נותנים תנאי. אנחנו ניתן לך להתחתן עם הבת שלנו, אם החתונה תתקיים בתוך כנסייה. בדרך לכנסייה, הם מתקרבים יותר ויותר, פתאום הילד הזה מסתכל, רואה את הכנסייה, את הצלב למעלה. הוא אומר, רגע, איך אני יכול בכלל להיכנס לשם? איך אני יכול עכשיו להצטרף לקהילה הזאת? אני לא שמעתי פעם, הוא לא זוכר איפה הוא שמע את זה, הוא לא זוכר ממי הוא שמע את זה, רק הוא זוכר שהוא שמע פעם שאנחנו היהודים צאצאים של אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, וכל זה מחייב אותנו להמשיך, ולכן עם ישראל חי, קיים עד היום. אני עכשיו אלך ואת כל זה אני אמחוק? לא יכול להיות. ואז ברגע האחרון הוא אומר להם, לא חבר'ה, אני מצטער מאוד, אני לא מוכן לבצע את החתונה הזאת. הוא עוזב אותם וחוזר ומחפש את המקורות היהודים שלו. הוא לא יודע איפה הוא שמע את זה. גם אתה לא יודע למי השמעת, אבל פירות יש.
I'm not sure if the thing was clear, didn't come up on the screen all the words, but this is the most incredible, powerful story. The Rebbe describing to this professor, this is in 1953, that he should understand that everything you say, what an impact you can make, and you don't know who he touched and what he did, but you can save a Jewish kid from marrying a goy. Taking this, are we on?
Yeah, we're still here.
Taking this, translating it in our classroom, I want to say the following. Just Bashgocha Protis, I saw the story today, and someone said it to me. This was not part of what Jem sent out. This is an old one from a long time. So I wanted to share it. But I want to bring this into our classrooms. Being a teacher in a classroom, the opportunities of elevating a child and making an impact l'netzach letzorchim, forever and ever, is countless and endless. We have every day, every minute, we have opportunities to elevate a child ad asof. In Chas v'Chalila, we have opportunities not willingly, Chas v'Sholem, and nobody wants, but it's almost inevitable that it's very easy to hurt a child just with a comment and just with a face, and even worse. I'm talking now for myself, and I want to just encourage everyone. You know, I once heard from a Satmar Chassid, a very, very special Jew, who was a sofer. This is something that remained with me, and I heard it, and Poshet, it touched me so much. A sofer, a Satmar Chassid, a very big Yiddish Shamayim, who he had written down every mezuzah that he wrote, a mezuzah tefillin. When he started writing and selling, he wrote down everybody's name and telephone numbers. He had the cheshbon of everybody that he sold to. After 10 years of being a sofer, he went back and he looked up in his book. He called all the people from the first year. He took back for free. He checked everything, and anything that was not perfect the way he knew now, 10 years later, anything that wasn't perfect, he fixed or gave them new ones for free. The story of a Yid, a sofer. When I heard that story, it hat mir angehabt a zitter. I immediately, being that I am in Chinuch my whole life, and that's my safras. I'm not a sofer, but I'm dealing with Talmidim. And I said to myself, Rebbeinu Shalom, I wish, you know, in years, Baruch Hashem, I had the zchus to help a lot of children, but who knows? And for sure, it's inevitable that you make mistakes. It's impossible not to. And even though for you it's one mistake, two mistakes, few mistakes, not willingly, time has passed, but the person you made a mistake on is an impact that Chas v'Chalila, it can impact forever. What's the answer? Is those people that you remember, definitely you're lucky that you remember that you may have made someone feel bad or this or that. You have an opportunity. You fix it, you call back, you make it up, you talk to the person. But there's many that you don't even know, just like in the story in a good way. You don't even know. I came to my conclusion. I came that the Gemara, there is a halach in the Gemara that if somebody stole and he doesn't know from who, or he can't find the person, the eitzah is he should give the money for a rabbin. He should give it for a community. In the community, with that will be a tshuva for the things that he didn't do. So you know what? I said to myself the same thing. It may have been individuals that we impacted not in a good way. Okay, we can do tshuva by strengthening more in the chinuch to do with others. But let's focus on the good side. How much can we do with a smile for a child, with a good word, which doesn't cost money and it doesn't cost time and it doesn't cost much of effort. It does cost energy, because if it doesn't cost the energy, then it's not. It doesn't have to be not time and not money, but nefesh. It has to be your nefesh. And if you connect with the child benefesh, the impact L'Toiva in a good way can go so far, and you years later, what you can do for the kid, and looking back, and it's a tremendous pleasure, obviously, for oneself also, if we need an encouragement to do that. So therefore, Helika teachers, let's for now conclude with this. We talked about the Nakuda of inspiring ourselves. Let's just make a summary. The Sikha we learned tonight started with, we started off with, we learned about not making any compromises. In Chinuch has to be all the way, and that's the message from Hanukkah, that even though they had an option to light with Shem and Tomei, the Eibishter made us a nest that we should be able to do the mitzvah right. That was the Sikha we learned. Then we went through the detailed, the 4 years of 8 Avos with the what we learned, what we took out some points from each year. But the 2 messages that we were going over, the fact, the difference, and somebody may not be happy by me saying it, but yes, I will emphasize again, the difference between a shliach and a teacher, that the shliach has to teach the people the mitzvahs. He also did a job, but for us, we have to give the kids the neshama, the nefesh, and in order to do this, we have to be inspired ourselves. And finally, with the thing we just spoke about, how much we have to be aware of the impact we can make, and the positive impact, and not chas v'chalila, the opposite, just the positive impact we can do on children by every move and every word and every smile we give. Thank you very much.